Dark Urshifu is not as common as its counterpart Water Urshifu currently. However, it does still have a really strong Wicked Blow option that can go through Protect. And this version right here with the Sword Stance, Black Glasses, and Terra Dark can do massive amounts of damage, similar to the Kingambit that we've seen in previous series. However, this one can go through Protect, which is a very big deal. We're going to be trying out a recreation that I have used of Kyle's team that got top 8 in a huge online tournament and see how well it performs. This team features Golden Go balance with Swords Dance Urshifu. Similar to Kingambit, the idea of the team is to go for setup with either the Golden Go or the Urshifu with a Nasty Plot or Swords Dance, alongside the support from the Intimidate Landers that can pivot around with U-Turn, the Pollen Puff, Spore, Rage Powder options from Amoonguss, Thunderwave support that also has Sunny Day to weaken Water Urshifu, but also power up the Choice Specs Fluttermane that can do a lot of damage outside of just setting up, having immediate offensive pressure. If you would like to check out the details of the team or the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Wo-Chien, Heatran, Rillaboom, Golden Go, Landorus Fairing, and Fluttermane. Alright, how do I exactly want to approach this team? If I can get rid of the Fluttermane early, my Urshifu goes really insane against their team. So I do kind of want to try to utilize my Urshifu as a setup. The question is, how am I getting that Pokemon set up? So Golden Go, it's like okay. I'm not really the biggest fan of using Golden Go in this matchup, mainly because the Heatran can be a little bit tricky. I can bait it to maybe go for a Terra using my Landorus, but I'm not exactly sure. I do like Thundurus. Thundurus is pretty strong here. I like the Amoonguss with the Urshifu. I just don't know if I want to put the Fluttermane to sleep or not. I think that's a big one. I'm going to have to ask myself. I think I want to go with Amoonguss. I think Amoonguss is probably okay. Amoonguss is really solid. Maybe just Amoonguss or Urshifu. It kind of covers like a lot of their potential leads. And then in the back, I like Landorus a lot. And then, am I bringing Fluttermane or do I want to bring Thundurus? Because Thundurus speed control is still really good as a backup to deal with their Fluttermane, but the problem is I would be relying a lot on my Urshifu to win this game, which I think is probably pretty doable. Let's try it out and see how it performs. A lot of this game will be just trying to set up for a Sword Stance Urshifu position, using Spore against the Fluttermane and potentially getting that Sword Stance up, and then I can Thunder Wave it later in the game to paralyze it so I can outspeed with a Wicked Blow and do a ton of damage. Let's see what they are going to lead here. Going to be the Wo-Chien and the Golden Go, which is a amazing lead for me as I lead the Urshifu Amoonguss. I don't think this is the Tailwind Golden Go, so I should be okay here to just go for a Pollen Puff, I want to say, into my Urshifu and just go for a Sword Stance that I do have the option to. And yeah, I'm just going to go for it immediately. With that Sword Stance, should be able to threaten the Golden Go for a heavy knockout, even if it goes for like a defensive Terra right here. Again, I really don't think this would be choice specs. I think this is going to be some kind of nasty plot set. The only problem is how well can I handle the Wo-Chien later on, but we'll see. We are going to see a Terra come out. I'd imagine this is going to be the Golden Go. I don't think it's going to be the Wo-Chien. Yep, it is going to be the Golden Go. Going to be the Terra Water. Yep, so it's probably just going to be Nasty Plot. Perfect. So this is looking pretty good so far. If this is Nasty Plot, that's amazing. If it's Make It Rain, it depends on the follow-up from the Wo-Chien. My Urshifu going to be faster. Get the Sword Sands up. Let's see what the Golden Go going to go for. Going to go straight for the Make It Rain. Okay, going straight for damage. Does a lot more damage to my Urshifu than I thought. Is that actually choice specs? Oh, they went for Pollen Puff, so they were expecting Wicked Blow. So that ends up working out perfectly because they didn't double up my Urshifu, so I am able to Pollen Puff up. I don't think they were expecting the Sword Sand set, all of that. We should be good here. I want to say I should be able to KO the... what's it called? The Golden Go here with a Wicked Blow. I think I do want to go for a Wicked Blow. I do have Black Glasses. Do they have Intimidate? They do, but they have to switch out the Wo-Chien anyway, so I don't think it matters. I'm pretty sure that Wicked Blow with the Black Glasses should be enough, even with this reduction. It's like a critical hit Wicked Blow. Like, Golden Go's not exactly the bulkiest Pokemon out there, so let's just go for Wicked Blow. No Terra. That is going to be able to blow up the Golden Go, so fantastic. We eliminate the Golden Go. I didn't want the Dark Tera to get the knockout because Pollen Puff would potentially KO me, I think. So Foul Play going to come out. I also quad resist the Foul Play. As you can see, it doesn't do that much damage. I am able to go for the Pollen Puff into my Urshifu. That is an amazing position, and I have a +2 Dark Sucker Punch to threaten the Flutter Mane, or I could just protect and Spore here. But Landorus going to come in. Okay. Landorus going to reveal itself, which is a-okay by me. I will probably just retreat here into my own Landorus and just go for a Wicked Blow into their Landorus slot. I just don't see a reason not to get this Intimidate off. I don't really see a reason to play super defensive right here, as I can get Intimidate off in the Landorus, just Wicked Blow through, and then I could U-turn out the Wo-Chien. Feeling pretty good about this position. Flutter Mane. I am only +1 Sucker Punch, but it is Black Glasses. I might be able to threaten the... I think I do threaten the knock on Flutter Mane, unless again it's Focus Sash or a really physically defensive Flutter Mane, I guess. We'll see how it performs. What is with the camera angle? What? Wait, what is going... What? What's this camera angle right now? Okay, back to normal. What the heck? I feel like Battle Save has been glitchy for the last couple of days I've been recording. So... Landorus gonna come out, get that Intimidate off into their Landorus. Good pivot here. They're also like can't really do that much damage here because of their own Wo-Chien. They go for a Rock Slide. Okay, so that's not really any damage. I am able to get the Wicked Blow through, get the KO onto their Landorus, so I'm already up a 4v2 position. This is probably a Foul Play once again. Giga Drain. Okay, so they have Giga Drain. So Giga Drain, Pollen Puff, Foul Play. Is that Assault Vest Wo-Chien? It might be Flutter Mane going to come out, which is not too surprising. Booster Energy on the Flutter Mane. Going to be Speed, Special Attack, Speed. Okay. So they might have Substitute. I think my best play is just to Earthquake and just go for a Detect right here. I just don't know if Dark Tera would KO the Flutter Mane, so I don't think it's really worth going for. I'm just going to Detect here and Earthquake to put in the range of Sucker Punch. They're not going to Protect because this is Urshifu. They are going to go for the Sucker, or they are going to go for the Moonblast into Urshifu. I'm going to get my Earthquake damage to put you in range of Sucker Punch so I can U-turn the Wo-Chien afterward. This might be Pollen Puff into Flutter Mane, which would be smart. But either way, I think it's okay because I also get chip damage on the Wo-Chien. No, they actually go for the Foul Play in the Landorus. Okay, so you know they are 100% losing here to a U-turn into the Wo-Chien and a Sucker Punch. Even if they go for a Protect with the Flutter Mane and Pop. Well, they can't Protect and go for Pollen Puff. So, yeah, Sucker Punch is just able to nuke that Flutter Mane. We can go for U-turn into the Wo-Chien, bring out our Amoonguss, and then Wicked Blow through the Wo-Chien, which I think it could even just KO. Rocky Helmet Wo-Chien. All right. Interesting set here. But we can just go out into our Amoonguss very safely, go for a Pollen Puff, go for a Swords Dance once again. I don't think it's Leech Seed at this point. They go for a Pollen Puff, attempt to Flutter, hoping that they could live the Sucker Punch, or they thought it was a fighting move. That's also pretty fair. But yeah, now I can just win by going for Pollen Puff and like a Swords Dance, and yeah, battle's gonna be forfeit. So Urshifu just able to wreck shop against their team. That is how strong the Swords Dance Black Glasses set is. Kind of like the Kingambit we saw in the previous series, but not being able to protect, that makes it pretty rough. Mimikyu, Ursaluna, Indeedee, Armarouge, Urshifu, Regieleki. Huh, interesting Trick Room variant. Dark Urshifu is pretty decent here. Dark Urshifu is pretty decent, although Psy Spam's really not a fun matchup. I really don't like dealing with Psy Spam, but it should be okay. I do like Landorus here as a lead. I like Urshifu. It's really good against a majority of their cast. And then in the back, it'd probably be Water Golden Go here. I don't really like Thunderous too much. Flutter Mane is useful, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it's probably Golden Go and Amoonguss. This matchup just seems pretty bad, just because like if I can deny Trick Room, it's okay. It's okay. But I don't know if we really can. I also don't know because this could be like a really big resurgence of like the hard Trick Room that we saw in Generation 8. They used to run Regieleki and Dark Urshifu, and then they had the Trick Room mode you also have to worry about. We're gonna see Mimikyu Armarouge, which is actually like pretty good for me. I am able to lead the Urshifu and the Landorus, and I can just U-turn out the Armarouge and go for a Wicked Blow because usually they are a Terra Grass set. So if this is policy. I just realized this is policy. This could very well be policy Shadow Sneak stuff. Do I have a counter? Not really. I'm just gonna go for a U-turn. You know what? I think I'd rather just play risky anyway. I'm gonna U-turn Wicked Blow. If they are the policy sets, we might be able to live a heat wave with our Urshifu. We have some bulk. We'll see. If it's just like both Trick Room leads, then I can Wicked Blow the Armarouge. If it doesn't KO, it just allows me to U-turn it, and then I pick up the knockout, and then they get Trick Room up, but they don't have like their Armarouge at least, which is pretty good, so I can actually switch into Expanding Force. Yeah, it is going to be the Terra Grass, which is not too surprising. Okay, so Shadow Sneak should be off the board here. Wicked Blow and a U-turn should be able to KO with the Black Glasses. Play Rough comes out. I am able to survive because I did get the Intimidate off earlier, and I do get the Wicked Blow off into the Armarouge, which is really nice. I am able to get the U-turn as well into the Armarouge, so Armarouge is eliminated. That's a really good factor. So huge, huge, huge. I wonder what kind of Ursaluna it is, because I feel like it would probably be Headlong Rush. I'm going out into Golden Go here, because I can use it to put on pressure against the rest of their team. We're going to see what come out. Is this Ursaluna coming in? Indeedee. Interesting. Okay. So I don't mind Indeedee coming in because this combination can't really do any damage to my Golden Go, which is surprising. Why I thought Ursaluna was coming in, but maybe they just really want a Trick Room. Maybe they don't have Trick Room on the Indeedee, which is fine. I'm just going to go for a Nasty Plot with my Golden Go, and I'm just going to go hard into my Amoonguss here, because they have to get rid of Urshifu. Urshifu is a big threat, so I think they're going to play rough. Maybe they Trick Room here as well, which is okay. They go for a Shadow Claw. They target the Amoonguss. Yep, perfect. So they take Rocky Helmet as well. We're going to see a Nasty Plot from the Golden Go. We're going to be in a really nice setup position here, and we're going to see a Trick Room. Okay, and now we kind of pinned the Ursaluna switch because we could always just make it rain, which is really good. So I'm going to go for a Make It Rain, and I'm going to go for a Pollen Puff. I'm going to target down the Mimikyu, I think. Because if they don't follow me, they just lose the Mimikyu, and the Indeedee takes a huge amount of damage. If the Indeedee follow me, I just get the KO onto Indeedee, but this is a perfect situation because I am able to get the Pollen Puff into Mimikyu. Make It Rain should be coming out afterwards, so we're going to be in a really good spot. They go for Psychic, which should not KO the Amoonguss, so I should be all right here. Yeah, Amoonguss survives. That's the only thing I really needed. Make It Rain going to come out into the Indeedee, and the Mimikyu actually picks up the knockout into the Indeedee, a critical hit into Indeedee. Depending on his investment, because they do run a lot of physical defense to take on Water Urshifu, so I don't know if the crit mattered. I feel like it might have, but even then, like, I feel like it's really tough for them because I have Landorus with Intimidate. I can pivot around the Ursaluna. Like, the Ursaluna has Protect because I can just Spore the Ursaluna, which is not a pretty factor for them. Although I don't think that it's probably my best play too. I think my best play is just to go for a Make It Rain into Ursaluna and just go out into Landorus for an Intimidate and get the Regenerative health. And the main reason is to cover in case this Ursaluna does have Earthquake. I think it's going to be Headlong Rush, but I do think that they either protect to make sure that they don't get Spored, or they're going to just go on the offense. But yeah, they do protect here, so that's okay. Do I want to Terra? Probably Terra. I could Terra anything, really, if I want. They take the burn here. How many turns of Trick Room do we have? 2. So I think I just go for a Protect with Golden Go, and I think I just hard swap into the Amoonguss. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't think they can actually win. Ursaluna does not have enough capabilities to win because it doesn't have enough spread move pressure. Because like the only way they can really win is with like Earthquake crits on a board where I don't have ground immunities, but I'm not going to give them an opportunity. If I have to sack Amoonguss so that they can to a Facade so I can bring in Landorus, that's completely fine because Ursaluna is at -2, which makes it even more unlikely for them to win. I will protect Golden Go. We're gonna see a Earthquake come out. Yep, just fine. Amoonguss is probably even surviving this one too. Yep. So they did have Earthquake. Good thing I scouted. I don't know if the Ursaluna is min speed or not, but maybe they're recovering my Amoonguss being min speed. I'm just gonna go for Make It Rain. I'm gonna go back to Landorus. If they Facade Read, that's fine. If they Earthquake and they crit my Golden Go, that's okay as well. The Trick Room's over, and then I can just go for really strong Wicked Blow and Stomping Tantrum, and the Ursaluna is just not going to be able to beat down my 4 Pokemon at this rate. They go for an Earthquake again. We should live with Golden Go easily. Did they crit me? Yep, they didn't crit me. Nice. I am able to make it rain. Beautiful. Into the Ursaluna. That's a +1. Make it rain at KOs. I'm actually impressed. I did not think that would KO. I know it's single target, but Ursaluna has some really good HP. I guess that one probably just isn't invested much special defense. But nice. We were able to pick up the win. It seemed like a tricky matchup, but overall, being able to KO the Armourouge, they weren't able to get Trick 'em Up. Then they had a really passive board in the mid game, which was really strange for them. And then we were able to get rid of both passive Pokemon, so we were actually just able to win the Ursaluna because we had Intimidate. We had a few factors that were set up for stalling out the Trick Room. So nice position overall. Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, Iron Hands, Landorus. All right, so this is going to be pretty important because my Urshifu is going to go crazy in this matchup if set up properly. And I do want to find out if it's Unaware Dondozo or if it's the other set really quickly. The only problem is I don't have exactly the best ways of breaking through the Grimmsnarl like super early. That's my only concern. I know Landorus plus Fluttermane's a really good lead. And I do like it here. I like Landorus plus Fluttermane. And in the back, I like Urshifu and Amoonguss, I think. Although Thundurus could also be useful because I can paralyze the Dondozo as well. But it's not really that useful otherwise. I can't taunt the Grimmsnarl. I guess I could find a way to Tatsugiri, but I feel like Amoonguss Pollen Puff the Urshifu. Urshifu should be bulky enough to survive one attack from the Dondozo, so I could still get Wicked Blows off. Depending on like if we can beat a Tera early on whether it's going to be the Grass Dondozo or not, it's going to be a good question. So let's see how this performs. I would have liked to have Thundurus Thunderwave for the Dondozo because a lot of them still are probably Terra Grass. We're going to see the Landorus plus the Grimmsnarl, which is perfect for me as I do lead the Fluttermane and the Landorus. So I just want Chip on the board because I can't knock out the Grimmsnarl in one shot. I might as well just get a Dazzling Gleam off. Their Landorus is pretty decently fast, which is okay here for me. I'm just going to go for a Dazzling Gleam immediately and go for that U-turn into the Grimmsnarl and bring out probably Amoonguss. Amoonguss seems like a pretty safe bring. I want to scout for Oblivious Dondozo or if it's Unaware Dondozo because that's going to be dramatic on how I play the game throughout. We're going to see Light Screen come out. I guess Dondozo under Light Screen is going to be like, that's not going to be fun. But then again, we have an Urshifu that doesn't care about it too much. They just go for Rock Slide. Okay. What is with the animations recently? U-turn going to come out into the Grimmsnarl. All right. And we go out into our Amoonguss or Urshifu. We could go Urshifu and just blow through their team. Or we could go Amoonguss. My only problem is if I take too much damage here from Terra Blast, which I'm a little bit concerned about. I think I should go Amoonguss and just Dazzling Gleam and Scout here. And I think that's probably the better play. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad play. I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam and I'm going to Protect. Because if they Terra Blast, like if they go for Terra Blast, right, I get a huge amount of momentum. But it looks like that's not going to be the case, which is fine. Okay. I shot a Reflect. They go for Reflect. All right, I don't really care about Reflect too much. Unless it's not Dondozo Geary in the back, which I guess would be interesting. Because of Dazzling Gleam, the Landorus is going to get knocked out to the next one. So we're in a pretty prime position. Let's find out. It's going to be the... Oh, it's Citrus Berry Landorus. Okay. Interesting. And Taunt. Oh, okay. Taunt onto Amoonguss. All right. Okay. That's Volcarona, so that isn't the Dondozo. So I guess I don't have to worry about Dondozo. All right. I guess that means I can just go for a Dazzling Gleam very safely. I like the idea of going for Dazzling Gleam hard in the Landorus for the Intimidates. I don't know if they're going to taunt again. If they do, that's pretty good for me because it doesn't accomplish anything. And if they don't, it's like not that bad because they're like -2 and can't do anything other than U-turn. So let's see. Let's get some chip damage into Volcarona with Dazzling Gleam. Because again, we're trying to set up for Urshifu anyway. So they Quiver Dance, which makes a lot of sense. I also wonder if they're Terra Grass or Terra Water. That's going to be a big question. So they're relying heavily on the Volcarona to sweep, but I have no idea what their set is. I guess the question is, who do I want to Terra? Because I could Terra Amoonguss in this game. Terra Water is pretty good, but again, it just comes down to the Volcarona set. Volcarona gonna reveal its leftovers. You don't know what the back Pokemon is. It could be Iron Hands, I guess. I'm gonna Dazzling Gleam anyway, and I guess we just Rock Slide here. I don't really want to Earthquake myself. I am just gonna Rock Slide. We're gonna see the Landis retreat, so this is Iron Hands. It's taking a lot of damage regardless. That is Iron Hands, so it's taking a lot of damage regardless. I don't think they can knock out Fluttermane in one shot, unless they're Terra Fire, I suppose. We are going to see a Terra come out. I imagine this is a defensive Terra like Grass or Water, because Urshifu is just such a prevalent Pokemon right here. We're going to see Terra Water. Okay. So, Terra Water. Good thing I didn't Terra my Landorus. How much damage does this do? Oh, they Quiver Dance again. Interesting. All right. I still don't know if they knock out Fluttermane with the HP they have, but I guess we'll find out. I do have a pretty decently bulky Flutter. But we'll see. Dazzling Gleam going to come out. Pretty decent damage across and Rock Slide. All right. So I think a lot of this game I will want to Terra most likely my Mungus. I think I live a Heat Wave, but we'll see. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam anyway. And I'm just going to sack Landorus if I can. I'm just going to go for Earthquake. Because if they don't fake out, they get pretty heavily punched. What are they doing? That's very greedy. All right. Very surprised that they go for a third Quiver Dance. But okay. I am able to get the Dazzling Gleam off into the... and an Earthquake off. Goodbye Iron Hands and a good amount of damage to Volcarona. So I'm very surprised that they let me do that. But okay. Now the Volcarona is just super low, so I'm just very surprised that they would let me get that attack off. Granted, the Volcarona could still sweep me, but all right. Landis shakes up the taunt, not like a big deal. Their Landis is going to come in, which is faster than mine. I guess how many turns? I mean, I have Dark Tera on my... I do have Dark Tera on my Urshifu. That should be okay. I'm gonna just Dazzling Gleam and Rock Slide here. Yeah. Just get damage. Although I'm kind of curious if I should have Earthquaked instead to get the more damage on the Volcarona. They go for a Giga Drain into Landorus. Not gonna pick up a knockout. That was a critical hit too, which is actually a really bad crit. It's actually a really bad crit. The reason it's a bad crit is because obviously they just healed a lot with their Volcarona and now they're out of the Dark Tera Sucker Punch range. So that's not great. So now I might have to go for the Terra Water Mungus game plan. That's not good. So they should Heat Wave unless they don't have Heat Wave. I'm going to just U-turn out the Volcarona. They don't have Heat Wave. That actually works out in my favor. But yeah, they do have Heat Wave. I'm not too surprised. All right. Mungus is going to have to come in clutch here, and it might come down to read +3 Giga Drain on Terra Water Mungus. That might just KO the Mungus if they get the read right. So that Giga Drain is not, because I could have stalled up Reflect and I could have went for Terra Dark Sucker Punch Spore. So we're going to go out into Urshifu and the Mungus. It should be a bulky Volcarona. That doesn't really tell me much. He turns to Reflect. I'm going to Detect and I'm going to go for a Terra Water Spore. Because I think it's my only option. If they Giga Drain read the Mungus, amazing play by them. But they don't know what kind of Urshifu set it is, so they might just be inclined to Heat Wave. I don't think they could really afford to Protect. Because if they Protect, it's really bad for them, I think, if I Wicked Blow. So yeah, they're not going to Protect. I do get the Detect off. Is this Heat Wave versus Giga Drain? Oh, thank goodness they Giga Drain my Urshifu. Wait, that delay for a second made me think they targeted the Amoongus. I went for the Spore. Where are the animations? What the heck is going on? Where are my animations? All right, whatever. Okay, I want to make sure that I have a guaranteed win. So I want to say if I Swords Dance with Urshifu, it's stronger than if it's Well, let me think about this. Wicked Blow is like 120 base power crit. Then this is 105. I think if I Sword Stance, it's a better because I can ignore the reflect. I just feel like Wicked Blow might not KO in this position. I feel like my best play is just to, actually no. I think my best play is to Sword Stance and Pollen Puff to negate the leftovers recovery, and then I go for. Actually, I could have just Wicked Blown a Sucker Punch. What am I doing? What am I doing? I should just Wicked Blowed into Sucker Punch. Whatever. I still think this is working out fine. I think. I'm hoping that +2 Sucker Punch. With Black Glasses, I feel like it should be enough to KO the Volcarona. So let's see if it does. I'm like pretty confident. Oh, because Reflect is gone now. Because I knew I ignored Reflect. I should have just Wicked Blown a Sucker Punch, man. I don't know what I was doing. It was leftovers Volcarona. It wasn't Citrus Berry. Just gonna Sucker Punch and Spore. Okay, they attack. Yep, I do KO the Volcarona. Okay, so this technically still won. I was just worried about some Flame Body and like Wicked Blow like only doing 50% to the Volcarona if it was like bold, and then like the burn and then the leftovers, like, which is negated by the Pollen Puff, I guess. But if I didn't get the KO, it would be kind of frightening. I thought Sword Stance Sucker Punch might have been the right play. It might have still been just Wicked Blow Sucker Punch realistically, because I could still Sucker Punch into Spore threaten the Volcarona. But I guess if they wake up and I got burned and they can get another turn of leftovers recovery, then it can get a little bit awkward. So maybe my play still stands. I'd have to double check on like what the calcs are for that. Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Thundurus, Amoonguss, or Urshifu, Iron Hands. All right. How do I want to perform? Solvus Landorus with Earthquake's actually really good in this matchup, so I do want to bring probably Landorus Thundurus. Really good combination. In the back, I don't think Golden Go's that great. Amoonguss doesn't really do well against this. I think it's probably Fluttermane and Urshifu. I could go with Golden Go, but I'm a little bit scared of like how like I'd have to Terra, and it's not exactly an amazing mon to bring, I think. So I think I'd rather go with these four. Like, I just don't really see Golden Go or Amoonguss doing super well in this Fluttermane Chi-Yu dynamic. I know that my Solvus Lands Earthquake is going to do fantastic in this matchup. I know that my Thundurus can. Like, the only reason I would bring Amoonguss is so I can pollen with my own Landers, but I just don't even know if Amoonguss would be able to survive enough hits to exactly get the Pollen Puff off. We're going to see the Fluttermane and the Thundurus, which is okay for me. Depends on who has the faster Thundurus, I suppose. So I do get the Intimidate off into both Pokemon here. I think I am just going to go for a Thunder Wave because I think Thunder Wave Rock Slide is not a bad option. If I do have the faster Thundurus, I do get the Thunder Wave off into the Fluttermane. And then the Rock Slide damage as well as like potential flinch to Fluttermane seems like a pretty okay spot. They do have the faster Thundurus. All right, so that's a little bit annoying. Can't Thunder Wave after the taunt. We're gonna see Icy Wind come out. Okay, so that's gonna do a chunk. That's a lot of damage into my Landers. Okay, this is a really scary position now. Unfortunately, that just became a really scary position, and I missed the Rock Slide on the Fluttermane, which is damage I wanted. That is a frail Thundurus. Okay. I mean, I think its Choice Spec's locked though. So I guess I'm going to go out in Urshifu because I feel like that has to be specs, and I am going to Thunderbolt their Fluttermane because I want damage. Kind of a shame that I didn't get the Rock Slide damage off in the what's it called? The Fluttermane. But I mean, I could Sword Stance up with Urshifu. It's not like a terrible spot, I suppose, but I am taking a lot of unnecessary damage, probably even a KO. Actually, if this is Wall Bolt Storm, this was not a great switch, but like I didn't really have a choice here. So hopefully it's not Wall Bolt Storm. As we will eat our Citrus Berry, heal back up for some HP. Gonna be a Wall Bolt Storm. We did dodge one. Urshifu dodges. Oh, and Thundurus. Oh, they love me right now. They love me right now. They love me right now. Here comes the Thunderbolt into the Fluttermane. Not bad damage. Okay. Sucker Punch should KO. I think I just Sucker Punched the Thundurus. They're not going to go for any prankster shenanigans. I'm just going to Thunderbolt to the Fluttermane. They might switch out the Fluttermane here. Landers could come in. They had a Landers? No, they didn't have a Landers. I just get a Sucker Punch off into Iron Hands. Yeah, that makes more sense to me, which is okay here. I get a huge Sucker Punch off into Thundurus, which prevents the Wall Bolt Storm. So I guess I do get a little bit back into the game, which is nice. And I Thunderbolt the Iron Hands for some chip. okay. They still have Terra on deck, so I do have to be watching out. The Iron Hands actually took a decent amount of damage, and because my taunt wears off, I can now go for Thunder Wave, but they probably will go for Fake Out, which is not the best, but it's not terrible. We are going to see the Flutter Mane come back in. I think I have to sack either Thundurus or I have to sack my Landorus here. I do protect my Urshifu always. I think I want to try Thunder Waving. If I can get the paralysis, how big of a deal is it? It's a pretty big deal, but the thing is... Actually, no, I don't think that's the play. I think I just go for the Thunder Wave here into the Flutter Mane. The reason I think I make this play... Oh, they went for a switch here. Okay. Into Chi-Yu? Yeah. Is this a knockout into the Thundurus? Interesting bait here. Okay. So we will detect it for Urshifu. We did want to make sure that we're safe. Maybe they were baiting Sucker Punch as well. We go for the Thunder Wave. Nice bait there. All right. We go for Drain Punch. All right. Not great for me, but still playable. I do want to Terra Flutter Mane. I do need Chip. I think I just Sucker Punch to Chi-Yu, and I think I go for a Thunderbolt. Do I Sunny Day, actually? I feel like I should Sunny Day so my Flutter Mane has more power. You know what? Yeah, let's Sunny Day for more power, because I don't think it's Scarf Chi-Yu. They switch out to Chi-Yu. Wow, they are playing really well with that. They're playing really well with the switches. They go out into the Flutter Mane. We're gonna see if this is special attack booster, if it's speed. All right, we Sucker Punch and we go for a Sunny Day. We wanted the Photosynthesis so we can actually threaten the Iron Hands and with the Dazzling Gleam. Like Terra Dazzling Gleam might KO the Iron Hands. It didn't take the Thunderbolt super well. Special attack booster. They go for Drain Punch actually in Urshifu. That's actually like really ideal for me, because now I can go out into my Flutter Mane. I have the ability to go for a Thunder Wave into their Flutter Mane and go for a Dazzling Gleam right here, which is really good for me. So I'm going to go out into my Flutter Mane, and I'm going to go for the Terra Dazzling Gleam. And if they go out in a Chi-Yu to try to dodge this attack, then the Iron Hands is taking even more damage. So I don't know if that's a really good defensive play that they have. So I like this pin right here. I'm going for Thunder Wave and I'm going for the Dazzling Gleam. They do hard switch out into the Chi-Yu, so this works out either way. I got a huge amount of damage, which I'm very happy about. So Beads of Ruin is going to activate. That's cool. I am going to be able to get a... I guess the question is, can Iron Hands knock out my Flutter Mane? My Flutter Mane is really bulky. It also depends on the item on the Chi-Yu, but I think I should still be okay. But it also... Well, they have to Terra the Iron Hands. If they don't Terra the Iron Hands, they do lose the game here. Or Detect. Oh, so it's not Soul Vest. Okay, so I think they would just go down either way. So I get Thunder Wave into the Chi-Yu, and I go for Dazzling. It has to be Scarf Chi-Yu to have a chance. Yeah, it has to be Scarf Chi-Yu to have a chance. We're going to get a Dazzling Gleam off. Yeah, it's a 2-shot. That Chi-Yu is really bulky. That's a Sun Boosted Choice Specs Terra Dazzling Gleam. So I'm pretty sure that my Flutter Mane should outspeed. I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave into the Iron Hands, I guess. Actually, I should have went for Thunderbolt or Harden the Landorus. But the thing is, if they have Detect, I don't think they have Heavy Slam. So I don't think they can actually threaten the knockdown on my Flutter Mane. We are going to see the Terra come out from the Iron Hands. Yeah, so I actually Thunder Wave is not like a terrible option. Terra Fire. Wait, what happened to the Terra animation? Where's the Terrorist? What? Thunder Wave into the Iron Hands. Gets the paralysis. We're going to get a huge amount of damage to the Iron Hands either way. So this is still pretty good. Dazzling Gleam going to come out. Should knock out the Chi-Yu and a huge amount of damage to Iron Hands. Yeah, that's still a lot of damage. I'm surprised they went for a Detect play earlier. I really thought they were going to go like offensive right there, which I thought they should. Thunder Punch going to come out. All right. No para, thankfully. All right. I think we should have this game sealed. Well, there is like one way I could lose the game here. Photosynthesis is going to activate. We're gonna Thunder Wave the Flutter Mane, and we're gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam into the Flutter Mane as well. If I hit the Thunder Wave, I win the game because then my Dazzling Gleam will go off and then I can EQ seal it up here, I think. So just hit the Thunder Wave. Okay, nice. All right, that should seal the game. Thankfully, terrible start. Got bailed by Wallbolt Stormus, but thankfully Wallbolt Storm not the most accurate. And we are able to get a Dazzling Gleam off into the Flutter Mane because I wasn't sure if it was Bulky Thundurus because they didn't have the best speed advantages here. Dazzling Gleam with the Sun does KO their Flutter Mane. I have a Landorus in the back, so I should be able to win. I also have Thunderbolt with my Thundurus. And their Iron Hands is paralyzed on top of it. So Dazzling Gleam, let's go for Thunderbolts. Should secure the win. That was going to be forfeit. We still had Landorus in the back with Earthquake. Really solid, really solid. Just able to find a position to get like the Sunny Day set of Dazzling Gleam. And because they couldn't eliminate the Flutter quickly, like Dazzling Gleam kind of just dropped their board. All right, let's go over the games. In game 1, I set up a Swords Dance in what I thought would be a safe position because I didn't expect a Choice Specs Golden Go, thought it was Nasty Plot, and was able to Wicked Blow through their entire team with Urshifu. In game 2, eliminated Armor Rouge made it easier for my team to switch around, and once I isolated the Ursaluna, I could easily finish it off from there. In game 3, Tera Water Quiver Dance Volcarona was scary. I think Swords Dance and the Sucker Punch overall was fine as an endgame, but luckily isolated Volcarona and didn't get hard red on the Spore turn. In game 4, my opponent played really well, switching around, evading the Thundurus' Thunder Waves and other moves I could really go for, but the Specs Flutter Mane in Sun was really hard to stop once they allowed me into that position, and I capitalized from there. What else to expect from Urshifu? It does a lot of damage and you can't play defensive against it as easily because it goes through Protect, but this Dark Urshifu with the black glasses and Swords Dance really was able to put in a lot of pressure. We didn't even have to go for Tera Dark for it to pick up knockouts because Swords Dance was just good enough for it to really create enough damage. But overall, very fun team. If you want to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.